After trekking around Cavite sampling some of its dishes, I sat down with Cavite's own Ige Ramos to talk a little bit about Filipino food and the Filipino food culture. Ige,
Yeah,
from what I know, you are a man of many talents. First, you're a traveler, you're a cook, you're a food writer, a food historian.
well, basically, I'm a graphic designer by training. It's what I studied in school. And then after that, I worked for the cultural center. So all these cultural things just came naturally. Having worked for the cultural center made me become more nationalistic and more aware of our culture.
Right.
Eventually, after that, I decided to work as a freelance. I want to work for myself, so I established my design studio. It's more like a creative boutique. Then I worked for Inquirer as art director, and then eventually for Cocoon magazine. I think that's my motivation, and it's also my purpose to really keep the embers of the kitchen burning.
Yeah, specifically our culture.
Our culture.
So this is the question I've been wanting to ask you. There are really a lot of areas or different states where Filipino cuisine is not known.
Mm-hmm.
Now in California, it's getting better. What is it about that? Like, for example, guests from other countries come here. Why would we serve them non-Filipino food?
Let's say, for instance, in Cavite, we have this thing called pagkain pambahay and pagkain pambisita.
Yeah.
So we won't feed our guests with the local food or the normal food, quote unquote, that we eat every day. And although now I'm discovering that what we eat is quite unique.
Right.
And we won't dare feed them that. Filipinos tend to blend well to their adoptive countries compared to, let's say, Chinese, Thais, Japanese. But the Filipinos, they sort of adapt the borrowed culture.
But do we adapt too well, maybe?
Maybe too well. It took Andrew Zimmern to validate our food. I mean, of all people, Andrew Zimmern is like the least likely person or personality who would evangelize about Filipino food.
Yes.
Because he's known for doing, like weird food, right?
Right, bizarre food.
Bizarre
It's his
food.
Show. Yes.
And he said, like Filipino food's like the next best thing in the world. Why do we need foreign validation?
Do you feel like we've maybe lost too much of even eating at home? Because now there's a lot of cheap food that's outside.
Industrial food, they call it.
Yeah, because even just talking to the locals, interviewing some of the people that cook around here, even, when we went to have some bibingka, her business has really gone down because now there's all this like fast food.
How sad, no?
It is, because it's such a beautiful art and something that we've had. It tastes amazing, but it is easier to buy maybe a 50 peso burger from, a fast food chain.
For me, I think what's important is we really have to patronize our local products. It's a cycle. And let's say, for instance, in Cavite, they sell this queso puti. It's called quesillo. It's white cheese.
Right.
And it's made in General Trias from Carabao's milk. And then, of course, all the grazing land for the Carabao is gone. It's becoming subdivisions. And then, where will you put all the Carabaos? And then, if the Carabaos are stressed, they cannot produce milk. If you cannot produce milk, you cannot make queso puti.
Right.
But then again, the problem with quesillo is the shelf life is too short. And then you can only buy it at a certain time or certain hours in the market. I went to the market the other day in Cavite City. And what's very interesting about them is they still practice old ways, like Filipino ways of making food, like sangkutsa.
Sangkutsa is a Tagalog term meaning pre-cooking or half-cooking by braising the meat in vinegar to soften it, to remove possible toxins, and to lengthen its shelf life.
It's a practice before refrigeration.
Right.
There's no incidence of food poisoning.
Food poisoning, yeah.
You know, so it's very interesting.
But yeah, we're really just grateful that you said yes to spending time with us and telling us about your knowledge. Get me.
Nakakapagpabagabag.
Nakakapagpabagabag. Did you get it?
No.